All right, hey everybody, this is Dark Side of Lee here with Hawk, and on my previous video, I talked about there were three stories out there, three main stories. One is about JJ Abrams, my personal take about it. We'll talk about that last because I feel that Hawk and I are gonna be going on a huge tangent about it. But the other one was about Robert Pattinson and also about what's going on with the Flash. Um, Out of those three stories, two of them are red flags to me. They're big red flags. The other one is what I consider a yellow flag. So the first one, if you guys are watching, we're gonna talk a lot about Robert Pattinson. Um,
Hmm.
and Hawk and I made our statement about this about the actor, and I'm gonna be more on the fact of I will give Matt Reeves an opportunity, show me what he has. I love his Apes movie, but let's just be honest with it. He took up the reins of someone else's story. He took up the reins of someone else's story and ran with it, and he did a really great job with it. Now this is something that he's creating from scratch and taking a beloved character that's been loved from everybody since the 1980s. So he and the backbone of DC for a very long time, and he's making some changes and he's making some
Yeah,
decisions.
but can you imagine that though? It took until 50 years before people actually really enjoyed Batman.
Exactly,
50
exactly,
years after he came out. That's crazy.
exactly. So um, so we're gonna see what Matt Reeves gonna do, and now I don't know if Hawk knows about this story. I know he's been very busy with with going on with his situation, and I know I'm busy too. But I heard about this, and I wanted to get Hawk's opinion about it. We'll try to keep this kind of brief, but um, now what's going on is that I mean he knows about a lot of the casting, and we made our responses for it, and I personally feel that it's a lot of pandering. It makes no sense. Let's just tell a good story, and let's keep characters the way they are. But that's not what he want. That's not what Matt Reeves wants to do. Okay, then let show me something. Then show me something. Then make me eat my words. Prove to me that that this is the right actor for the role, and then I'll be perfectly happy. One, I said the same thing about Heath Ledger, and I got pie in my face. I said the same thing about Ben Affleck. I was kind of hesitant about it, but he proved me wrong. So if the director can prove me wrong about these actors in these roles and he makes them well, then I will shut up about it.
Yeah, I
But
mean that's the one thing though, like uh I had to explain to you like my feel about why Ben would be okay, but the only thing that bothered me was how he downplayed superhero movies, and that bothered me the most. That I
understandable.
knew he could probably, play the character no problem, and he did a great job. But it's
Hmm.
just when he downplayed it back when he did Daredevil, I was like, dude, why would you do that? And this is why we'll never see him in a Marvel movie again, because basically he's like blacklisted for Marvel movies
I
because of
don't
what
think,
he
and I
said.
don't think he's the right actor for a Marvel movie anyway.
No, he shouldn't. He really should be a DC guy, anyways.
Yeah, he should be
DC's
a DC guy,
making more money on one single actor in the movie. I mean, come on, man. You got
right?
the Joker. You don't even notice the other actors. All you see is freaking Joaquin playing the character,
Right.
and everybody else is just kind of like background noise. TVs when they used to turn off back in the day, and all you heard was the snow in the background. And
Right.
people don't even notice the other actors. Like, yeah, they're there, but you want to know what he's doing. That movie made over $1 billion. Just one dude really just performing. Marvel can't say they've done that. Yeah, they
No.
have a couple movies that made a little over 1 billion, and Endgame, the garbage movie, made two, but it took like how long to do it? It took a while for it to get to the 2 billion mark.
Hmm.
But that's a bunch of people, a bunch of actors that different fan base people were all over the place for those movies. I mean, we could have had that with Justice League even more so. That movie did nothing. It did really bad because we didn't get the Snyder cut. If we had the Snyder cut, that movie would have made easily 1.5 billion, easy,
Oh yeah, definitely.
if we had his version. But instead, we had Mr. Avengers movie, Josh Whedon doing the Super Friends, and ruined it, and it barely. I don't even think it made the budget. I think it was under its budget.
It made about 650, and that's
Yeah.
shameful.
So, but yeah, just maybe just over the budget.
Yeah, it
It,
made over it made over its budget, but that's here and there. All right, so um, what I heard, what the news is out there, is that this is gonna make you laugh. This is gonna make you laugh, and it's gonna make you groan at the same time. Basically, the Batman's gonna get delayed because Robert Pattinson is not bulking up. He can't bulk up.
I would just fire him. I'd be like, all right, dude, moving on. I wouldn't even play around. I'm like, I don't like you anyways. You're fired. Like you're not taking the role seriously. Batman's always been buff. The only time he was scrawny is when he was 10. Like, let's not do this
Or
because
hell,
he
I,
still
I,
hasn't
I
trained
would even
enough of that.
say his first year. His first year as Batman. I mean, he's going in there thinking like
Nah, like
this,
he
and
was
then
more
he.
muscular than this kid.
No, I'm
Like you
just
really
saying.
look at him first year, he was Batman was Bruce was in shape. He was a super
Oh,
athlete.
no, I know, but what I'm saying is that in his first year, I'm not saying he should be scrawny. No, I say he should be muscular, but over the years he got more muscular because he needed to have that muscle
Right,
because his body needed the musculature to compensate for the fact of all the scarring and all the pain his body was
right.
going through.
But this is the problem. There you're throwing this actor into a situation where he should be already buff. Period. The storyline that they're going with, he should already be big. He can't be some scrawny dude running around like a
Hmm.
toothpick. Just then cast him as a scarecrow. Just cast him as a scarecrow. Be done with it. You don't have to gain weight, bro. You can lose weight, matter of fact, and you could do this role. Be the scarecrow because I don't see you as Bruce Wayne anyways.
No, I don't.
Freaking glitter boy, go away.
I don't. He does. He has a pretty boy face, and Bruce does not have a
No,
pretty boy
glitter,
face.
glitter. Sparkly vampires in the sun. Like I don't need to see that. I don't need the fairies that bite. I don't need that. I don't need the prince of the fairies going around acting like he's a stoic, brooding, heroic man. Like, I don't need that, sparkling fairy to play that. You're not a hero.
Well, speaking of which, you just basically gave a good. You just linked it together. He came out and said in one interview that he doesn't want his Batman to be considered a hero, and I'm like, but he is a hero.
Yeah,
He's not the
Batman's
he
straight up the
Batman is
hero.
yeah, Batman is a hero. He's not the atypical hero like a Superman or anything, mainly because Bruce
He's
does
not
what
the
he
Boy
has to do to
Scout.
win. He
Yeah.
he he's a chess man. He doesn't he's not he's looking at the long game. He's not looking at the short game like, "Oh, I'm going to save this person and I'll be all right." No, he's looking at the bigger picture. And in a lot of ways that's what makes him more analytical than a lot of the heroes in DC. And 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 for Robert Pattinson to say that he is the that Batman is not that much of a hero or he shouldn't be considered a hero, I'll be more like, okay, well, how about your Batman should not be considered a hero? That'd be perfectly fine. And I think that a lot got changed in that's what he's trying to say. And I go, no, he should have said that in the first place. He should have said that his Batman should not be considered a hero,
Well, then if that's the case, then you might as well just play the dad in the alternate timeline.
right?
Because the father is Thomas was not a hero. He was
No.
literally a full-on true vigilante. Like he was Death Wish incarnate. Like that's not a hero. That's a
Yeah.
guy that's going around murdering people because he feels they're bad.
Yep.
That's a true vigilante. They
Yeah.
classified Bruce's Batman as a vigilante, but he's not though. He's legitimately a detective who's trying to help society. Well, meanwhile, his father in the Flashpoint timeline was a murderer, making it harder for people to get by because now they worry about, well, if I accidentally break law, like, I hit somebody with a car, is this guy going to shoot at me? Like, what's going on? Like, I actually ran somebody over, but I didn't run away. Am I going to get a bullet in the head for it? Probably.
Right. Probably,
because the way
probably not.
Thomas, you
As long
weren't
as you
paying
don't,
attention.
as long
You
as you don't,
should have paid.
unless as long as you don't flee the scene. If you don't flee the
Well,
scene, just get
no,
those
the
people
way
arrested.
that
You'd be good
version
to
of him
go.
acted, it's like, okay, you stopped. That's great. It made it easy for me to shoot you. That was
Nah,
his attitude.
I think that Thomas Wayne's character is more in the fact his Batman. It was more in the you cause a crime and you basically don't give two craps about it. Or let's go with your
Oh
analogy
yeah,
that if they hit a kid, hit a person. I'm not gonna say a kid, but let's say he hits a person and flees the scene. Yeah, you're gonna get a bullet in the face.
you definitely
But if
getting a bullet in the head.
you're gonna get a bullet in the face. But if you
But
stay
his version,
and let yourself get arrested and go to jail, he'll leave you alone.
oh, I know that because you
Yeah.
manned up to your crime. But what I'm saying is, it's like, all right, look, that's not a hero. That's a guy
Yeah.
that goes around who's willing to kill just to make sure you don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
If
So if
okay,
that's the Batman you
if
want to play, then fine. But you still got bulk up because Thomas Wayne was no schlub.
yeah, and also if you really want a true vigilante, and in the current continuity, Jason Todd, flat.
Yeah, but I mean, Jason,
But no, here's
he
the
he
thing.
really goes after hardcore people though. Like it's
The
not just like
yeah, he
regular
doesn't.
people.
Yeah, he doesn't. But no, if you want to play a vigilante type, a let's just say a almost a Punisher slash Moon Knight type, Red Hood.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't deserve that role either.
He doesn't ever really either. I know. He can't play
It's
that
like,
hardcore. He hasn't shown that he can do it,
yeah,
in my
Red
personal
Hood's
opinion.
even worse. Like
Yeah,
you will never have the look. You'll never have
never.
the
The
look.
look. No.
And calling
So
Robert Patterson a pretty boy, that's saying a lot. That boy is not pretty. That guy got hit by a sander and somehow he's still in the business.
okay, be civil, man.
I am. That is civil.
I know that
No,
is.
very civil.
I'll tell you the audience that is civil for Hawk. That's civil. All right. So yeah. Oh man. So basically, yeah. It's being paused. It's on delay. He's not. He's. I don't think he's not bulking up. I'm thinking I think he's having a hard time bulking up, which that's a bullshit.
Just
Because you and
hire
I
a
both know
trainer. Because
that's
everybody,
BS.
yeah, get a trainer. Get somebody
Yeah, just
that
get a
actually
trainer.
cares about
Actually,
training people.
he can go on. Dude, he can go to YouTube. There's guys out there that will easily tell him, "You want to pack on 20
Case in
pounds? This is what
point,
you do."
Afflin X. Everybody look that guy up. That guy is lean, mean, and he teaches you the proper way of lifting so you don't destroy your body. Afflin X.
Sheesh. So, I don't know. I don't know. This is just a rumor out there. But if this is what's going on, then what the hell? We're gonna be waiting a little bit longer now. They got a script, they got their cast, and the main actor is having a hard time bulking up. Dude, go eat some burgers. Go eat some
No, well,
burgers.
don't. Okay, like, do you
Go
want
eat
him to be the
something.
shape of the blob from Marvel, and then he could play that role if he eats a bunch of donuts and burgers, no problem. If you want to bulk up, you gotta eat 8 times a day.
Yep.
You gotta eat tuna, chicken breast, sometimes a steak, because if I don't care what anybody says, there's no way you're gonna get the proper protein from vegetables. It's impossible. We are meant to eat meat. We have canines for a reason. Canines are not for chomping on vegetables all day. They're meant to eat meat. So you need to learn how to eat meat properly then, because it sounds like you guys don't know what you're doing. You get bloating because you eat too much of it. Then whatever it is you're doing it wrong. But the proper protein that we need for our system is in the meat. So you eating the vegetable or eating tofu all day ain't gonna bulk you up. You say that to a sumo wrestler, they're gonna laugh at your face. They're like, "Yo, I eat a lot of fish. That's meat. That's protein. Don't
Yep.
declassify fish. It's a meat."
Right.
It's like, don't like, well, I'm a vegan and I'm allowed to eat fish and stuff like that. Look, man, either you're a meat eater or you're not. Plain and
Right.
simple. Like, yes, you could be a vegan, but don't be stupid. You
I know.
need to eat meat. There's a protein in meat that is good for us so we can heal and get bigger.
I know. I know. It chuckles me. It just chuckles me. How the hell
I
this guy?
can't.
I mean, come on, man. The fuck, dude. Yeah.
I don't care if you're a vegan or whatever like that, and you're afraid to get bigger and you can't maintain it. Well, Arnold's a vegan, but he's old though, and
Yeah, but
he
he's
still
but
eats the proteins proper. Like, man, he throws
yeah.
whole eggs in his milkshake because if you eat the eggshell, if it's ground up properly into like a liquid or
It's all
a
fine
dust,
dust and it'll just absorb right into
that
the liquid.
calcium saves your bones. So yes,
Yeah.
you actually can eat the eggshell, but it's just better if you grind it into like a dust so you
Yeah.
can actually put in your drinks. It's good for you. It's a calcium. You need it. It'd be better than drinking whole milk or whatever it is, and that way you could drink your almond milk, get the potassium you need from that, and
Mhm.
then get throw a whole egg in there with some bananas and other things to add a little extra smoothness to it, and you're good to go.
Right. Okay. So yeah, the whole Robert Pattinson thing. Oh jeez. I'll keep apprised. I'll let you know, man. So we will revisit this
He's
later.
basically doing what Gal Gadot did to us. She didn't bulk up, and I'm like very annoyed with her. Like, screw your modeling career. Acting career will outlast your modeling career all day. Cause look at Helen Mirren and all, right? People love them in movies. Helen Mirren did two action movies. Are you kidding me? Red. If you've never seen it, watch it. She goes around sniping people and being a badass in the movie. Like, don't say that a woman gets too old and can't do a movie. That's ridiculous. Sigourney Weaver proved that females can be action stars too.
Mhm.
Not Linda Hamilton. Sigourney
I knew you're gonna touch. I
Weaver.
knew you're gonna tap. I knew you're gonna do that.
Yeah, don't put Linda Hamilton in the action hero game. She's never been a part of it. What, one movie? Really? Oh wait, two. Because the first one doesn't count. So
Yeah,
you
right.
got Judgment Day and this new one where she's of ancient times. Okay, like that doesn't count. Sigourney Weaver's been doing this since Alien.
Right.
So good luck with that.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Okay. Okay. So here's the next one. It's about the Flash. Now, um, here's my thing. My question to you, Hawk, is what do you? I know that okay, we both hate Justice League. We both hate it with a passion. Movie is
Oh
crap. We
man,
want the
I
Snyder
can't.
cut.
I can't.
But what do you think of Ezra Miller as the Flash, though? What do you
Ezra
think of
Miller's a
him?
better actor than Grant Gustin all day, all day. So yeah, I could see him, and he seems more brainy to me because he's
Mm-hmm.
done it before, and he's
Mm-hmm.
actually a pretty smart guy. Now, nothing against Grant, and I'm not saying that he's idiot or anything like that. I'm just saying that I don't feel that he's smart enough to play Barry, honestly. And he's technically not playing Barry, he's just called Barry in the show. The story is not Barry's story. So that's
And
moving on from there.
okay,
At
all
least
right.
with Ezra, we actually have a Barry in a different, aspect, but he's young. He's trying to figure out the situation that he's in and making the best of it. So Ezra is more believable, especially when he had his smart person rant when he met Bruce,
Yeah,
and when he was explaining to him like in the super that's geniuses do that. I've met a few people who are
eccentrics. Yeah,
incredibly
they're
smart, and
eccentrics.
they do that. They do these crazy off the wall rants, and you're looking at them like, hmm,
Yeah,
it's like they're borderline. They
yeah.
they can snap on you. Like they're not bipolar. They're just it's borderline.
Yeah,
They say people
they're
geniuses
very
are.
very yeah they're very very eccentric to the point where it might seem like they're fanatics.
That's what I'm saying. They're borderline to the point of mad science in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's very close. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
a thin line. He did that so well. I was like, because I know physicists, I know engineers. I have
Yeah.
been friends with these people for quite a while, and even though I'm not in that fields or anything like that, but I just kept my life simple because being dyslexic, just I don't care about school like that. But I do
Right.
understand a lot of things. If I could hold a conversation with a physicist, I think I'm okay.
Right.
It's like they talk about things. I'm looking at them like, okay, but what if you do this, or and then they look at you like everyman knowledge is what I have compared to what they have. So everyman knowledge, it proves it works, if they figure out how to, acclimate it into what they're doing, then yeah, that's what that whole show Eureka is about. The
Yeah.
everyman who actually can get by. And it's just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And science people, they tend to overthink things a little too much, and that's why a lot of stuff doesn't work,
Yeah.
or it just
They're
takes too
over
long
analyzing.
because, yeah, it takes too long sometimes, and they're overstepping. This is what Ezra's character does every now and then,
Hmm.
which Barry does that though. So I'm
Yeah,
like, all
Barry
right,
is like
cool.
that. Yeah.
He
Barry's like that.
overanalyzes things all the time, and Ezra doing that, he's like, this is simplification. It's a little more complicated than
Than
that.
that. And also the
Yeah,
fact is
it's
that he
like,
has the super speed. It just makes it even worse.
yeah,
Makes it much worse.
he knows what it is, but it's hard to convey because in his mind it's a different language.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize Bruce can't understand it. He just didn't know that Bruce was smart, like, in a way where he can break it down and go, oh, okay, so what you're basically saying is this.
Yeah.
And like, oh, okay, yeah, that's it. Like Bruce will simplify it for other people. He will understand because he's around Lucius Fox all the time, and Lucius does that. I mean, he's
Hmm.
like the super genius of black gentlemen in comic books. This
Hmm.
guy is so smart. He does rants like that, and Bruce is like, "Whoa, whoa, stop! We got other people here. I
Yeah.
get it."
So does a one other. And I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't want to go into a different direction, but everyone's got to realize something. Out of every character in DC, and I know that Hawk would know this too, there's only one character that is hands down the smartest character in all of DC. This character is DC's version of Mr. Fantastic, and that is Mr. Terrific. And he's
Yeah, he's cool,
black.
man.
He's black.
So this character, I hate what they did to him on the show.
I know.
I hate the Arrowverse.
Hmm.
They
They ruined him.
pandered to the gay community. This man's never been gay, period.
Nope.
But this guy is so cool. He at one point tattooed on his hands fair play
Yep.
when he knocked you out. He was a super genius that was strong as hell. Like
Yep.
he didn't mess around with you. Like that he hit you with the fair play. He did the Mr. T.
Yep.
Like, it's like take you down,
Yep.
sucker. Like that's how he was.
Yep. No, I agree, and that's why I didn't
Oh
like him
man,
with
I
the
love him, man. I
Mr.
hated what
Terrific
they
was
did to him on the
awesome.
show.
Yep.
Like, dude, I would say he could be better than Reed because he's more connected to humanity than Reed is.
He's
So
the thing with Reed is he was already smart and he's already eccentric. With Michael Holt, Michael Holt comes from the streets.
yeah,
He's
but
grounded.
he had the balance that was needed to
Yeah.
be connected to people. He knows how to socialize. He
Yep.
actually has friends that he doesn't make feel inferior mentally. He makes That's why he does fair play because he's letting people know, like, yes, I'm super smart, but I'm not going to treat you like you're an idiot. I'm
Yep.
going to treat you like a person who can learn this from me, and I hope that it helps you later in life. That's what he does. He helps the community. He helps people who are in businesses. They'll pay him, and he takes that money. He barely uses any of his money. He does a Spider-Man thing.
Hmm.
He takes a little bit of it so he can continue doing his experiments and whatever else he needs to do to be a hero in society. He does, like, okay, you need a boys club, boy and girls club, or an area for
Hmm.
homeless people to be able to sleep and be out of the cold. He does this for them and builds them, and he's friends with Ray, who, this is I'm talking about the Atom,
Hmm.
who also helps him and does the same thing, and they'll build stuff together so that way the communities won't feel like they're excluded, like what happened to the Joker in the movie.
Yeah.
Like he does in their city, anywhere, like, Mr. Terrific is at, he'll call his friends that have money, and they're like, no problem. What do you need? I got you. I'll send it to
Hmm.
you because I know you're doing it for a good reason, and I never have to feel like I'm losing out.
Yeah.
I
He
know
did.
in my heart I'll feel good.
Yeah.
That's why I like him a lot more than Reed. Reed doesn't help his community. He doesn't do it. Like, I don't care what anybody says. He's a nice guy, great. He does not help his community. He is only about his experiments. He
Yeah.
barely cares about his family. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. The borderline, uh, mad scientist. It happens, and that's what Barry can be, but won't be, because he
Okay.
does like the human connection, because he doesn't want to feel alone, because what he's in with the Speed Force,
Yep.
he knows he could end up alone forever because of the Speed Force, because it doesn't want to let him die. So it does what it can to try to keep him around because they need somebody.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyways, that was a rant on one of the coolest black heroes ever.
Yep. So
Period.
so right now one of the big stories is that that it just got passed out that the Flash is going to be delayed. Now, this is one of the things I said that this to me this is a yellow flag. We
Well,
well here hold on. I know that Ezra is doing Fantastic Beast story.
yes, he has to, because now he has a bigger focal point. That's what I was about to bring up. So you already, all
Yeah.
right, cool.
The
It's a
second
longer
well
movie too, so
yeah,
that's why.
and two, we know that Andy Musichelli, the director of It, he's the director. That's a
And he's
thumbs up to
also
me.
writing the Flash too. Like, he's
Yeah,
helping
he's
write it.
helping with the writing, and also Christina Hodson, she's helping with the writing, and she wrote Bumblebee and also Birds of Prey.
So
I'm not
she's
gonna
gonna
fault her on
make
that.
it pretty. Well, Bumblebee, she's
That
gonna
was
write
fine.
it emotional.
Yeah.
So we
So
already know Barry is gonna have his story. It's not gonna be
yeah,
the Wally show. It
yeah.
is gonna be
So
Barry with an emotional breakdown.
yeah, but now also Ezra does not want to do slapstick comedy. We know that. That's why the original directors got fired because he was like, no, I'm not doing no slapstick comedy. We
They're like,
know that
okay,
we
fired,
yeah,
fired. Like
yeah, he fired. They
he,
got fired.
he's the
Um,
Flash.
Ezra Ezra wants to do a little bit more of a darker story, and
Mm-hmm.
he worked with Grant Morrison, and you know who Grant Morrison is.
Oh, okay.
He worked with Grant to create a story treatment so he could keep the job and presented it to WB, and that's why he's still the Flash. That's why he's still
Is
attached
he
to the
gonna
Flash.
do the demons? I wonder.
Well, no, no, no. All he did was a story treatment. I don't think they're gonna go with that script. He just did a story treatment to show to them that hey, this could work
Well,
if
yeah,
we
because
do it this way.
for people who don't know, Aquaman could be kind of like a horror story. You can
Yeah,
see with the monsters in the sea and stuff like that. The
Bat.
Flash literally can be a horror story.
Yeah,
The stuff that gets pulled out of the Speed Force is full on, can be horror movie type stuff.
yeah.
It's not just about his roads.
No,
The Speed Force
and
stuff is like horror movies incarnate.
and then also everyone's got to realize there's always there's the one thing in the Speed Force that even Barry, Wally, Jay, every speedster runs away from, and even
Mhm.
Eobard
The
himself will
writer.
run away from, and that's the Black Flash. The Black
Yeah,
Flash
the
is
writer.
the death speed. Yeah, the Black Rider, and they run from that thing. They go nope, because if that thing shows up, that means one of them has to go.
Yep.
They have to
He
run.
touches you with it's the end of your existence. It's
Yeah,
not just you dying, it's your existence, because he
existence.
has to
You.
erase you from the Speed Force. So that means erasing you from everybody's mind. You are never existent. So they know if they get touched by this dude, it's over.
Yeah, so they have to run. So everybody was like, "Oh my God, are they going to do that?" I go, "No, I think it's a story
Well,
treatment. I
no,
think,
because you would need Wally and
well, no, no, you
Barry
need a lot
together
of
to kill him.
setup. Well, no, you're gonna need a lot of
They
setup.
kill him over. They do kill him in the comics. They found a
Yeah,
way to kill him, but it took Wally, who's fastest, and Barry together to trick the writer into getting in position of dying. I'm not gonna say how he died, but they do get rid of him eventually,
yeah,
which disrupts the Speed Force
yeah.
because it took away the balance.
Yeah. So what I'm proposing is that he just did a story treatment, and I think that it impressed WB so much, and even Walter Hamada, that he went, "Wow, okay, this can actually work." And he's
Yeah,
going to keep the lightheartedness because Barry's life is pretty scarred and marred by tragedy, but
uh
he keeps his groundation and also his
because
humanity
he
over the
has
fact.
Iris,
Yes, he has
he
Iris.
has
He
his stepdad.
he has a stepdad. His dad is. I think they're going to keep his dad alive in this, and also
Okay.
just the fact of him having his powers, and also if they utilize Snyder's story, he has the rest of the league. He has Wonder Woman, he has Aquaman, he has Batman, he has Superman, and Cyborg. They're all there for him. So it's not like he's alone. So I have a feeling that they're gonna do a great balance with it. And I want people to realize this is a yellow flag to me. This is not something we should all go, oh my god, we're gonna be waiting for it. No, I think that Cynthia Hodgson and also no Christina Hodson and Andy Musichelli, they're going to give Andy the story that he wants and also appease what Ezra wants, because Andy is not going to do a comedy routine. There's no effing way we're going to see that after he did it. And that movie made a crap ton of money. There is no way this guy's going to go from it to doing National Lampoon. There is no way. That's so stupid in my personal opinion. He's not going to do that. So I think a lot of us should be, and I said in my video, we should be like, huh, about it, but I wouldn't really think much about this. I would say like we should just go, okay, they're gonna make the script nice and tight. They're gonna get the story down that Andy and Ezra wants, and they're gonna film it. But I think they're gonna wait until Ezra's done with Fantastic Beasts 3 and he's completely ready for this. And,
Yeah.
and so I don't know how you feel about it, but I think that this is a yellow flag. This is not something to be really worried about. This is more of a okay.
Yeah, you can't stress on it. Like
Yeah.
we already know he cares about the character. So
Yeah, he loves the character. I mean, I would say that everybody look at some of his interviews. He talked about the Speed Force and what the Speed Force is, the description of why
he's a
Barry's
fan.
lightning is the way it is. He went into the full spectrum of physics and metaphysical physics and theoretical physics and quantum physics just to explain. I'm like, okay. And he said that he talked to this with Zach. So this is all in Zach's head. This was
But this
not.
is why I'm saying that Ezra by far is Barry compared to the TV show. The
Yeah.
TV show you got here's a lollipop kid. Like don't talk to me anymore. Like you're nowhere near this dude's level. This guy
Yeah,
really is Barry.
the one thing the TV show a lot of people
It's
love is
simplified.
he gets by, and it's only because he has another kid there that they explain in the TV show. He has degrees in engineering. You're like, okay, but how the heck does he know theoretical physics and quantum physics? Because
Exactly.
that's way out of his league. I mean, he has to know physics, duh, but not quantum and theoretical physics. That's way beyond his league. And astrophysics, like, dude, the stuff that they're dealing with is way beyond their package. That should be more into Barry because his
Right, because
is in
Barry's an
physics.
actual scientist.
He's an
Not just
actual
a
scientist. Yeah, so
like,
I
people
don't.
are like, oh well, he's forensic. No, he was actually a scientist. Wally is the
Was the true criminologist and
right,
forensics
and
expert.
he studied blood and he studied the spatter. He just studied criminals in a way. That was Wally. That was not Barry. Barry was a full-on scientist.
Scientist. Yeah, he was in the same vein as Jay Garrick, because Jay Garrick is a legitimate scientist. He was a
Yes,
legitimate scientist when he got his powers. So
that's why
so
he made his costume the way it was. I mean, it looked stupid. It looked like he put a bowl on his head, but there was a reason for
he
it.
looks stupid. He put a bowl on his head. But yeah, I mean, but the one thing I liked in the movie versus the TV show is they said that okay, his suit was the same type of flame retardant that firefighters use, but so it
It'll
doesn't burst into
explode.
flames. I'm like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. I say, wait a minute. Okay, but how does it protect
Retarded,
it from
not
hypersonic speeds? That
right?
was the thing. What they
I was like,
explained
really?
what they explained in Justice League, even though it was a complete rejob, but that scene was all done by Zach. You could tell. You could tell what's Zach and what's Joss. Bruce
Yeah.
looked at the suit and said, "Hey, okay, flame retardant. It's made out of this, made out of this. Oh, the same type of material made out of space planes." And you're sitting there going, "Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You have these things going thousands of miles an hour, flying towards the Earth, hitting our
Yes.
gravitational field, going into
I
flames."
bet. I bet Zach looked at the show and was like, "Really? That's really like you guys are not fans. You guys are just children trying to make it sound like you're smart." That
Yeah,
was
that makes
stupid.
absolutely no
That's
sense.
just one aspect of what you need in order for this dude not to run around naked. Like,
Yeah,
really?
right.
You guys are stupid.
Oh man,
Now,
he's
later
not
on,
good.
Barry figures out how to put a magnetic charge around his body so he can run in regular clothes too. He knows how to control his powers to a point now where, like,
Yeah.
out of all of them, he had like the best control over his powers, the most imagination with the powers. And
Yep.
then Wally saw that and ran with it.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, you ever thought about this? Oh, ooh, this is interesting. Like,
Yeah, Barry was able to
Wally
do. Yeah, Barry
ran
was able
with
to
it.
do a whole. Yeah, Barry was able to do a whole bunch of stuff with his powers. Wally
And
saw it and
Wally is
took
his
it.
brother-in-law, by the way, folks. Okay, brother-in-law. Don't get it twisted. He ain't
Nephew,
like some half brother.
nephew.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm talking about on the show. Brother-in-law.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why I'm saying it like that. Annoyed.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
annoying.
He's not his
It's his
brother-in-law. No,
nephew.
his
It's his
nephew.
blood. This is why this kid has the powers because they are naturally innate towards the speed force. So I'm like, oh man, no, that's why I was making fun of it. His brother-in-law, like, come on, bro, like, no way, get out of
Right.
here. It's his nephew. It's his blood. This is his family. That's why he spent the time to teach him
Yep.
how to be a hero. Because he
And
genetically ended up with the abilities. That's how come he's able to outrun Barry. It didn't just happen that magically out of nowhere. The Speed Force chose him because of the bloodline.
and uh and then after Wally had his powers, then we had Max Mercury, who just basically taught Wally how to do it in more phenomenal ways. Because that guy was the guru of the Speed Force. He's the
Man, that
only
guy's a
guy that ran into
monster.
the Speed Force. He ran into the Speed Force where you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to run into the Speed Force. You're supposed to use the Speed Force as a guideline. But he ran into the Speed Force and was able to run in and come out. That's it. No one else was supposed to be able to do that. Wally did it not once, not twice, 3 times.
A
He did it
lot.
3 times, and that's impossible. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to run into the Speed Force. You run into the Speed Force, it's not the way the show did it. It made my head hurt a little because they said that, oh, you can run into the Speed Force. No, you go into the Speed Force, it's heaven. You don't return. You don't ever come back. That's the whole point of don't run into the Speed Force. You run through the Speed Force to get to where you need to go. You don't ever try to run into the Speed Force.
Basically, folks, they're Nightcrawler.
Right?
You teleport through heaven by running really fast to it, okay? Nightcrawler farts through hell. That's why it smells like sulfur and rotten eggs because he's farting through hell. And then he shows up in a different area because he sees point A to point B. But
Yeah.
he's going through hell because he's
Mhm.
what? A
A
demon.
demon.
Anyways, back to the
Yeah.
heaven part of stuff.
So, yeah, okay. So now we're gonna get to the crux. This is the big thing, and I just want your opinion, Hawk, because I will say I want to get your opinion about this after I give you my opinion about it. Now, you and I both know that Warner Brothers wants to get JJ Abrams into the mix. They want him to do some movies for DC.
Mm.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. My problem is I don't want him anywhere near Superman. I do
Yeah,
not want
no,
him anywhere near
it's
Superman.
gonna ruin Superman
Yeah.
completely. Yeah.
Um, one is, and I think I hope that you agree with me. You're most likely will. He's just gonna rehash 77 Donner. That's all he's gonna do. His track record has shown that he will rehash Donner, Superman. He the only time this man had an original idea in a movie setting, not TV, but movie setting, was the first Star Trek movie. That was the only one that was a complete original.
Yeah, the timeline thing.
Yeah, the timeline thing. And it's not like anybody can say, well, they never dealt with to say what, dude. Star
Yes,
Trek, the
they
original Star Trek,
did.
and even in TNG, and even every version of Star
In the
Trek TV show,
movies,
and even in the
movies
movies, has
too.
dealt with time travel. It's always dealt with time travel, but he did it in a way where it just made it into an alternate reality.
Matter of
So
fact,
they
watch the
go,
one with Malcolm McDowell and
yeah.
Shatner with
Oh,
Patrick Stewart.
Generations,
Yes, that
Generations. That was
one
all about
deals
time
with
travel.
the timeline anomalies and everything that you could think of.
Hell,
It's in that
hell,
format.
what the hell was it? It was the one with it was the original Star Trek crew when they were dealing with the whales. That was time
Yes,
travel
yes, it was. They went back in time to
to
save a
save the
whale because
whales.
that would stop them from being destroyed by a malevolent alien force.
Yeah, right. Weird.
You kill
So,
whales, you die.
yeah,
Wait, what?
right. What? So, so me personally, because I think that because no, this is the reason why I think he should stay away, and I said this in the video, and I think you'll agree. We have had too many movies where Superman has been one of the staple point characters, and there's been a complete niche on his character that people feel that this is the way he needs to be done because that's the way it should be done. You and I disagree with that because Zack Snyder came and he came with a strong basis, and it wasn't the question he proposed, it was the way he was doing it. He he took Superman and gave us a complete different variation of him, but he was building up from the ground floor. So we were understanding how his childhood was, how he feels as a person, not how he feels as Superman, not as Clark Kent, but how he feels as a person, and how does he personally feel in relation to the world around him. And nobody has ever touched that. Even in most TV shows hasn't touched it in that type of reality. Smallville did it in certain ways but we caught him at a later in his years, but we didn't catch him as a little kid. We never
No.
caught him at a little kid and having to deal with the other kids in Smallville, and having to deal with the fact of him being exposed to his powers, and how does his parents deal with those facts. We never saw that as a child. We saw it in a cartoon sense, but the cartoon kept it closer to in a PG setting. Now, what Zack Snyder did was he took it a little bit step further, and that's why I love Man of Steel, because as a child, any one of us could see things that are different about ourselves, and how do we relate that to other kids, and how can we be able to relate that to kids? Some
Yeah,
kids just
because he
basically,
broke bones. Okay,
yeah,
people forget Superman hurt people inadvertently when he was little. So
yeah,
it's like a kid smacks him or pushes him, and the kid falls down on the ground with broken hands
yeah.
because he didn't know how to maneuver just right, so that way it feels like he pushed him but does nothing.
Yeah, or
That,
he
look,
or
it
or
happened
or
in the
he
movie,
pushes him, and
and
he
they go
inadvertently just
flying
drops
across
on the
the.
ground himself. Like,
Yeah,
oh, you know. So
but he does it in the movie. The guy punches him and shatters his hand.
yeah.
And then he takes said person's truck and puts it on a telephone pole. Well,
I
homie
love that
broke his
scene.
arm.
I love that scene. He
Yeah,
pushed him, and he didn't even move, and that guy almost flew backwards. You're like, dude.
but that's what I'm saying. He didn't know how to maneuver. But when you're annoying, see, Superman is an asshole. So when you're annoying, he's gonna look at you and go, "Not only am I going to let your hand break on me, but I'm going to destroy your $100,000 truck too."
Yeah, right. So I mean, it was a great funny scene, and it makes sense. And the guy was an a hole. He was an a hole about it. But we didn't get that in Christopher Reeve's Superman, and we got something a complete opposite. If you go back to
We
Superman
got the Boy
2,
Scout, but he was too nice. But I was just like, wait a minute, Clark
yeah, yeah,
isn't that nice.
yeah. Here's the thing, and I think even if you remember from Superman 2, the guy bullied him. He had no powers. Guy bullied him, treated him like crap, beat him up, and then what did he do when he got his powers back? He went back and beat the guy up.
Yep,
That's
and
what the
smiles
hell.
about it. That
And,
that's
and
Clark. That's the real Clark. That he is an asshole. He
yeah,
treats his friends like garbage. The only one he can't do that to is the one he's afraid of, and that is Batman. He's afraid of that man. It's his friend, but he knows that he's not normal. He can kill super people. Don't matter to Bruce. Period. He knows how. He will figure out how to kill you and make sure you don't come back if he needs to. That's the only time he'll decide to make an exception. And it's like you'll die from this, like what he did to them in Doom.
yeah,
Like people were like, "What? How are they figuring out who's the enemy?" Well, this is all my plans. Yeah, whatever. That everybody was so afraid of him after that. They were like, "Wait a minute."
and they were pissed. And that was, and if you read the comic, that's one of the main reasons why he left and created the Outsiders. It was one of
Yep.
the other main reasons why he left to create The Outsiders. And also, Superman said he didn't want him to leave mainly because he understood. He understood why
Well,
Bruce
yeah,
did
it's
those.
his friend. He knows he's human. He's squishy, but he knows he's a very dangerous human. Keep him close. Don't let him go too far, because if he goes too far, look what happened. You let him
And
go
and,
too
and
far,
also,
and this is what
yeah,
happens.
yeah. He also even stated that he says, well, out of everything and this is in the comic. This is not They
Yeah,
did a
not
good
the
job in the
cartoon
movie. In
movie.
the comic, he said to him, what do you have that's going to defeat you if you ever turn? He says, easy, you. It's the
Yep,
Justice League.
yep.
He
Even though he could
flat,
take them out, but it's just like, you guys are the ones that are supposed to keep me grounded. That's why I
yeah,
helped start it. And they looked at him like, all his answer could have been Alfred. So
yeah. He
make
said
sure he
Alfred,
lives. Make sure he
but
lives.
so anywho, so so JJ Abrams, in my personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, and maybe even you might agree with this. I think he is much better doing the Green Lanterns. Leave him to go do the Green Lanterns. We do not have a staple point on anything previous with Green Lanterns except Ryan Reynolds' version, which was utter crap, except Sinestro and Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds.
but what I want, Green Lantern's gonna be hard. But what I want, because I like Hal,
Hmm.
is that you need to have his relationship with future Sapphire,
Oh, sorry,
because
Sapphire. Yeah.
yeah, man, like that, she found the power. I guess it's like overlove or whatever it is. Like that is really crazy. That power is really weird, but it's like super duper love, like to a crazy, psychopathic way.
Well,
She's
I mean, if I remember
borderline villain.
correctly,
Like it's really
well,
weird. It's
well, the
She's not
way
supposed to be a villain, but it's just
well,
weird.
the way if I remember it correctly, she when she got the ring, it overwhelmed her so much with love, it became almost like a fatal attraction.
Yeah,
And she
she
kept,
she almost killed him a few times.
yeah,
He's like,
because
oh, okay, I don't want to be with you anymore. Like, I
yeah,
I, I
she
don't
kept he
need to
kept
be
denying
missing
her
my
the love.
manhood.
Yeah, he kept denying her the love, and she got pissed off and almost wanted to kill him a whole bunch of times. And I think it was only after, what the hell was it? Was it that when he got the ring off of her, and no, when she went to Zamaron, the home planet of the
Uh,
Violet Starfires, and they found out
mm.
that her ring was screwed up, and they fixed the
It-
ring, and that's what actually purged her of
well,
all
it's
that.
not a ring; it's a gem or some garbage, and then she
Yeah,
made it into a
they
ring.
originally was a gem. It was a gem stuck in her head, but then they made it into a ring.
Yeah, because the embedding parasites into your head is like
Yeah.
taboo. It was
So
okay back in the day.
yeah. So I'm not saying that that's what I'm saying. I mean, with the Green Lanterns, there's not much set up there. We only have what Ryan Reynolds and did all those years ago, and you and I both agree that Sinestro was the best part of the damn movie. He was the best part of the whole damn movie.
Yeah,
He was
I got to tell
phenomenal.
Mark Strong that.
Right.
He gave me
So
this look like, I'm taking this picture with you, kid, because I realize you're a fan.
right. So um, but I think that JJ Abrams is much better there. There's no pretense. There's no history behind it. It's all fresh, all new. He could do whatever decision he makes. I mean, we may like it or may not like it, but at least he's not going to be pigeonholed into having to do something different. I mean, something the same that we've already seen before. And he could go ahead and build that whole universe himself. I still personally think that Peter Jackson would be phenomenal on the Green Lanterns himself,
Well, you
because
could
he go
also bring Mark Strong back as Sinestro too,
you
though.
could, but I'd rather have him as Doctor Savannah. He's much better as Savannah to me. I like him as
He had
Savannah.
fun with that. But that movie didn't do much in the box office, which sucks.
Oh no, they're
'Cause
doing a sequel. They're doing it.
I know, but it just sucks. That movie
I know.
it should have done better than what
It
it
should have
did.
been done way better, but from what I've heard through a lot of the reviewers out there, they didn't like it mainly because they wished it was more like Zach's other movies. And I'm like, but that's not. But Zack Snyder didn't
No,
direct it.
You
it was
can't do that because
yeah,
he's always been a kind of a carefree character because
yeah,
originally he was a 10-year-old. He's a
yeah,
10-year-old and a grown-up version of himself with the powers. That's
pretty
what it
much.
is. It's showing what he would look like grown up, which is basically looking like his father,
Yep.
which he doesn't know. He doesn't know his family. In every aspect, he really is an orphan, period. So he didn't know, like, his father, later on, he finds out that his father died and all this other stuff, but
Yeah, his
his
father
father
died. His
was
father died
heroic.
before he was born.
Yeah, his father was a heroic person. He wasn't a
Hmm.
hero per se, but he was heroic. Like, he always did something that sacrificed himself in order to save people. It wasn't like just military. They always had different aspects when they found out the story, but it was always something good about his dad. His dad
Yeah.
wasn't a scumbag. It was just his dad died before he was alive. And then his
So,
mom was the scumbag. But anyways,
anyways, but um, but I think that he's his sensibilities and what he could do with the grandeur of something is much better on Green Lantern than putting him on Superman because look, face it or not, I mean,
man,
um, face it or not, he's a rehash artist. And
yeah.
here's the other thing. I am definitely frightened having him on Superman if what I'm hearing about episode 9 is true. And I said this on my last video.
Uh,
If episode
what,
9 is absolute trash and realize this audience and I'm going to say this to even for you Hawk, Palpatine coming back was his idea. That was not the original
ew,
script.
that's disgusting.
So if and also if some of the rumors are true that they had to bring in George Lucas to help with the treatments, dude, that means that what the heck is going on? He helped create this universe with the first movie. So how the heck can he not finish off what he created? Just because one
It's,
guy came in and completely muck up the works with the Last Jedi does not mean he cannot give us crescendo story ending to this to what his ideas,
that's
his
how you know
original
he
concept
doesn't have an
ideas.
imagination, man. Like that, people pay attention. This guy's just looking at somebody else's work and just like, I'm gonna tweak this to garbage level. Like that's all he does. He ruins
Yeah, I mean,
stories and then looks at you like, well, thank money.
yeah, I don't understand. I mean, like I said, here's the thing. The first Star Trek movie was phenomenal. I loved it. I loved it. He took aspects of Star Trek and put it in this movie, and he took a relative concept of time travel. We all know that was inside of Star Trek, and he used it as a plot point and a story principle to move forward with these characters in a brand new reboot, and that's perfectly fine. It made sense. But how? But again, in Star Trek Into Darkness, wow, remember that Star Trek Into Darkness? It was just Wrath of Khan, retold in
Yeah,
a different way. That's all it
but I'm okay
was.
with that though, because I like how Spock beats the living tar out of him. I like that. I was like, oh, okay. It shows that Spock is not no chump.
No, he's not a chump. And like I said, the one thing about it was Benedict Cumberbatch did not. He took Khan and made Khan his own. He did not do a Ricardo Montalban version. I'd have been livid if he did that. I know Derek would be livid if that ever
I would have been
happened.
annoyed. I'm like,
I'd have been
really?
very pissed off. But his version of Khan, I liked it. It made sense. It
And it was just
worked.
visceral. It was
Yeah, it was very
regular.
visceral. He was very animalistic, and it was like,
And he's
wow,
still
that was
alive, by the way. He's not dead. Like he's not
no,
immortal. So it's just like people forget. They're like, well, how'd you bring Kirk back? We used his blood. And
yeah,
he's like in a comatose state because he's an immortal. They
yeah,
can't figure out how to kill him. They don't know how he became immortal. He did, but he did what he promised to people that he made into pseudo terrorists.
yep,
You do this for me, and I promise you, your kid will never be sick again. No, I don't believe you. I'm telling you right now. And then he does it. Bam. How's your kid? Perfect. Cool. Here's what I need you to do.
yep,
Too bad, so sad. Your kid has to grow up without you, but at least you know she ain't gonna get sick ever again. Get along, boy. Like he was like, get out of my face and get this done, because I need to get it moving.
yep,
If you don't do it, I will kill you and your family.
yep.
It's like I did what I promised. Now you gotta pay the piper.
And that's why I liked about it. He was literally no joke,
Yeah, I
no
like
joke,
them.
and it was great. It was a different take of Khan, but call a spade, bro. The whole movie was Wrath of Khan. It was Wrath of Khan. This is the way it was. It was Wrath of Khan. Same thing goes for The Force Awakens. It was A New Hope and Return of the Jedi all mixed into one movie.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I mean, are we
Well,
saying the
here's
movie's
another
bad?
funny one, like really garbage because they're both garbage. But all right, you got X-Men 3, and then you
Hmm.
got Dark Phoenix. Same movie.
Yeah,
Same movie, different people, same movie.
same movie.
That's why it flopped that bad because Marvel doesn't know what they're doing because they just ugh.
Well, we'll go into that. Thank you for giving me an idea on that because there's something that I gotta tell you on that one, but I don't want to go into a rampage on that because you and I will be going
No,
off on that about that
tell me.
movie and what Disney did, not Marvel.
It's
Disney
both,
did.
man. It's both. Like
So, well, actually, yeah, it's both because they allowed it to happen and they
look who's
forced Fox
running
hand on
it.
it. So, so,
Aggie.
so, you're in a kind of agreement with me that that JJ Abrams should not be on Superman. He should be doing something else.
No,
Like
not
he
at
should be
all.
doing Green
I'd rather
Lantern
have
or
John
something big.
Carpenter do Superman.
He's a John Carpenter.
Wait, John Carpenter doing a team up for the Flash would be amazing.
Yeah, but I'm happy with Andy Musichelli. I'm happy with him. I am very happy with what he
Yeah,
did with
no, he
it.
does a good job.
I'm
But
good. I just want to see what he can do. I just want to
you
see what
know
he
who
can
would
do.
do a better job for Superman?
Mm.
And you might think this is funny. Rob Zombie would be better choice to do that instead of Abrams, who missteps on every story that he's done so far.
I can see it.
Yeah, he would do it. He's a huge comic book fan. He would do a good job. Look, he did great with the remake, the first
The,
Halloween
the
remake.
yeah
The second one
the
went
first
down the hill.
Halloween, but
It went
yeah,
downhill with the second one, but
yeah, it will.
the first one's great. So I got that one. I'm cool with that one because it was very
Yeah,
violent and just like
yeah, it's
gore,
visceral.
and
It's
it was
very visceral.
great.
It's in your face.
And I was like, man, I like this a lot. He loves comics so much. He's also an artist, and people don't know this. Like he does draw and paint all the time.
Oh yeah,
He would be perfect for Superman because he has this dark, twisted ideas, and Superman has a lot of dark stories. So
yeah,
he can
I
be
mean,
dark.
and also I think that if people understand, like, we're not talking about we want it to be moody or anything like that. No, what I'm saying is
No, it's
he'll
like
get down to the nuance of what.
look at Doomsday, the real Doomsday.
Yeah,
That's a dark,
dark story.
messed up story,
Hell,
man.
or
Like
hell, look at the Return of Brainiac. The Return of
that's even
Brainiac
worse.
storyline.
That's
Oh,
worse.
that's worse. And also the reasoning why we're saying this is because okay, despite Doomsday, we know the end game of Doomsday. Doomsday kills him. Okay, but with the Return of Brainiac, this is
Come
Clark
on,
going
man.
after
This
so
is
many years of saying, okay, he's
mental.
fought every version of Brainiac. He's fought every version of Brainiac. Thought he killed every single one, and now he's confronted with the real Brainiac. And this
Yeah.
version of Brainiac he has Kandor in a orb. He has
Oh,
all these
the
planets and
collect. They
orbs.
called him the Collector, by the way,
Yeah,
for people
he was
because
the
he didn't know it was
collector.
Brainiac until he found out it was Brainiac. They
Yep,
called him the Collector of Worlds, and
yep,
they were like, "Wait, what?" And he went after this guy, thinking it's a new villain, going around doing some heinous things, and he's like, "Brainiac."
yep.
Oh, dude, really?
And
And
he
man,
was
Brainiac
livid. He
placed
was
him.
mad, dude. He thought, dude, I fought you so many times. He goes, you only fought of a shell of my real self. What? He was mad. He's like, are you kidding me,
Yeah, because
bro?
Brainiac he's flesh. He's
Yep.
not a robot. He
He's
is
not a robot.
flesh.
Nope.
He's a
He's a
super.
cyborg. He's a
Yeah,
cybernetic person.
yeah.
He's
He's 80% flesh, and then the rest is cybernetic. But he is a Kryptonian in the sense of like with enhancements, but super smart. And people are like, "What the hell?" Like, dude, he's got super strength. He can go toe to toe with Superman, the real one, not the ones that he fought before.
yeah.
He just thought, "Oh, it's just a computer program." Blah blah. No, it's not.
Nope.
This dude's tough. He's
He's
got
tough.
powers.
And so I would love to see that, like the return of Brainiac, because we were screaming out, oh, why don't we get a Brainiac? Do
You
the
know what's
return of
weird?
Brainiac. Do the return of Brainiac story arc.
We would have had that if, man, like Nick Cage is good for some movies, but his story actually would have been about Brainiac.
I know. Yeah,
So
the Return of Superman movie. Yeah, I know.
yeah, with Nick Cage.
Yeah.
But Nick
Oh boy.
Cage, really?
Wow.
The
No,
story,
no. Here's the
when
thing.
I
Nick
read the
Cage is a
story,
huge
I was
comic
like,
book fan
man,
too. He's a huge
I
comic book
know,
fan.
but not Superman, man. Not you can't
No,
put him as Superman. This dude is not built for that. He doesn't even have
no,
the looks for that.
no.
Like I like the guy, I met the guy. He's a great guy, but not Superman. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
be Superman.
no, you can't, bro.
You barely did Ghost Rider, and I felt bad for you for doing that
And he's
because
supposed
that
to be, and he said that he's a huge Ghost Rider fan, but he did it exactly how Ghost Rider was. He comes out at night. He only comes out at at the full moon.
mm,
Was it a blood moon?
yeah, it was some nonsense.
Yeah, it was a weird original concept that he only comes out at the peak of like a peak of night because that's when all evil comes out, and he only comes out and he just starts raking freaking anybody who does anything
I'm
bad.
like, look, man, that's not Ghost Rider.
But that's not Ghost
That
Rider.
dude shows up. He's like, that person's evil. He could bump into you as Johnny and then flip as Ghost Rider. If you bump into him and you're naturally evil, it's over. He
Yeah,
will flip into Ghost Rider and he will make you penance and feel all your sins. Like, dude, their idea
right.
for that movie, I got the special edition with the Ghost Rider books and all that,
Yeah.
but part two was the worst. I could not
Oh,
finish part two. As
I
soon as
could.
he had the fire piss and he's like, woo, like, I've been drinking. Like, Lloyd, whatever
What the
else you're
fuck?
doing with
Yeah, I know.
your
I was like,
drinking, it's
what
over,
the
bro.
f? I
I
was like,
met that
what?
director and I was not happy with that dude. I was like, you ruined Ghost Rider. I told him that. I was like, I don't want to shake your hand, bro. And I'm with Lloyd Kaufman. I'm with my friend that was being the Toxic Avenger and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Lloyd invited us to this premiere, and this dude happened to be there. He knew him and all that stuff. He helped him start. And then I met this guy, and I was like, he put his hand on. I was like, I'm not shaking your hand, bro. You ruined Ghost Rider. And Lloyd looked at me with like, okay, I have to agree with Hawk here. I can't be mad at him for being upfront with you. Have a good day.
I know, right?
I like this kid. You're cool and all, but I like him. He's up front. So yeah, Lloyd was
Yeah.
awesome, man.
But yeah. So, all right, okay. So the Robert Pattinson thing, we're like, whatever. Oh, God. Okay. The
It's not just him though. There's other
There's
actors
other
that should not
aspects.
be
I
a
know
part
there's
of
other
it. Yeah.
aspects. And then the Flash we're not really worried about. I know he and I are not really
I'm
worried
okay
about
with
it.
Ezra. I like Ezra as an
I
actor.
love
He
yeah, hell
actually
yeah. I
has
want to
the
see what he
chops.
wants to do. I want to see what he
He's
wants to
not
do.
soap opera actor level for me. Like
No,
he's
this is
legit.
yeah,
The
no,
Flash
this
on the
guy has
show
done
is soap
dark.
operas.
No, yeah, he's done dark movies. So you can
Look
tell
at
this
who
man can
he
hit
is in
layers.
the Fantastic Beasts story. He's a demon. He's a
Yeah.
demon, and like this kid is not right. I mean, he's a demon in the movie who's related to Newt.
Yep. And then
So
also, what was it? What about? Oh man, it was that movie he did with Tilda Swinton. He was playing the kid that was actually murdering people.
yes, the psychopath one. Man, what was that movie? I like that movie
Is
actually.
it yeah? He played that. Dude, this actor does not do
He's not a
Sunshine and Rainbow
chump.
stories, dude. He does not
He's
do
not.
Sunshine unicorn movies, dude. This dude is dark, and
He's
I
like,
love
yeah,
it.
the darker the better.
Sheesh. So him playing the Flash, and he has a outgoing personality. He's very flamboyant. Whatever, I don't care. Um, and it's perfectly fine with me. It's perfectly fine with me. He has that type of personality. He wants to bring that into the character. Saying he goes for Jason Momoa, but Jason Momoa can do dark
We need to
movies.
talk about Kevin.
Yeah, well, we need to talk about Kevin. Thank you.
Oh man, that movie was twisted, man. This
Yep.
kid, he's not right in the head.
Yeah, he was not right. So, and the whole JJ Abrams, we both agree with. Oh God, stay away from Superman. Just stay away from Superman. Go do Green
Please.
Lantern or do something else. Do Supergirl. Leave Superman alone. Don't touch Superman.
Oh man.
To touch something
Uh,
else. He
I can't.
the
Don't do Supergirl either, man. I don't need the uh,
we mean
Slater.
The Helen Slater version, the one with the super ball in her hand.
I
Get the hell
don't
out!
need
You
it.
don't want to touch
I
that
don't
either.
need it. I tried to rewatch it just to see if I could. Man, it was bad.
It was bad, dude.
I couldn't get
I
past
can,
it.
dude, I can
I
almost remember that
couldn't do
whole
it.
effing movie, dude. I saw the movie
I'm
like
like,
twice in my life.
I was like, poor Peter O'Toole.
I know, right?
I was like, why'd you do this?
Jeez. Sheesh. Faye Dunaway. Get the hell out of here, man.
I was like, these people don't belong in this movie. They're too good for this movie. It's trash.
Trash. Ugh. God.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't.
he just stay. I mean, we got to see how episode 9 goes, but I'm not happy with episode 9. I'm not happy with episode 9 from what I'm hearing, and there's a
Oh,
lot of
another
crap going
movie
on.
that people should watch with Ezra, the Stanford Prison Experiments, which is based off of what happened in Stanford and all that. That movie's
Oh yeah, I heard about that movie.
real, like he's so good in that movie. Yeah, like he is not a comedy kid. He did one
No.
comedy which I would never watch, and I'm surprised he was in it. But I guess a paycheck's a paycheck. Ugh.
True, but I think again, he has an outgoing personality. He's very funny. He does the stumbling thing. He does the same thing that Barry Allen does in the movie. He stumbles over his words because he
Yeah,
has a
I'm
lot to
fine with
say,
that.
and that's
But
fine. I'm fine with that. I'm like that. That's his personality. And if he wants to put that into the movie in certain ways, great. That makes him more relatable. That makes him more believable, because that's him even in real life. That's perfectly fine. Same thing goes for Jason. Jason Momoa is a fun-loving guy, but when this dude stares at you and he says, "Get out of my face," it literally means, "Get the heck out of my face. I don't like you." Or then he can flip the switch and smile and go, "Hey, you want a beer?" Yeah, he just jumps up and down. Hey, he's happy as hell. That's
I
Jason
just
Momoa.
rewatched Aquaman, right? And he's like, yeah, it's Aquaman. Like they're like,
Yeah,
you got a picture?
that whole scene,
And he's
dude.
looking
And
at the
then
guy. He's like, you got a pink phone.
yeah, you look at him like, oh my god. Well, once he had a couple beers in him, they're sitting there going, oh yeah, yeah. They're all sitting there, yeah.
He's
That's
like,
Jason Momoa, man, and you can feel that, and you can get that in the movie.
oh, by the way, and that was real Guinness. That was
Oh,
real Guinness
they had
too.
some real beer
He,
on the set.
yeah, that was
Oh,
real Guinness too. So he really
nice.
was drinking.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
he don't get drunk, dude. That dude's blood's made out of beer, dude. Come on.
you don't drink beer. It's stout. It's the oil of life.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's
Right.
Guinness. It
Yeah.
ain't no beer.
Yeah,
You can put a spoon and it'll stand up. It's the oil of life. I too like Guinness.
So,
It
I
could be
mean,
the Irish part of people, I guess, because he's part Irish, so
no,
I can
yeah.
see it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to see some of their personalities come in these characters. It makes them believable. I mean, I can feel Henry Cavill in Superman in certain ways because Henry is semi like that. He seems like he could be a pretty stoic person, and we both know Superman's not a stoic person. But
No, he's not.
The way Zach is writing him, he in certain ways he is
He's
stoic in
becoming
certain
that
ways.
way, yeah.
He's coming off that way.
He's not a
But
Boy Scout anymore.
no, and that's mainly because we only got a partial of the story. He's trying to get him to that point, but he's in a world that basically is telling him we don't want you. How is he gonna feel? How would you feel if someone is telling you we don't want you around? Get out of here.
Exactly.
Go home. You're gonna be pretty angry and pretty stoic about it. Like, he has to be here. He has to save the world. That's the job he put onto himself
He
when he
wants,
put on the
as long
suit.
as his mom is alive and Lois, he'll save the world. As soon as they're
Exactly.
gone, he'll leave.
Yep.
Plain
There's
and
no.
simple. You
And
won't miss it until it's gone, guys. See ya.
yeah,
And he's gone. He don't
yeah,
need to
if
stay there.
Lois or his
There's
mom
other
were not
planets.
around, he would. What I mean, sorry, if somebody could say, "Well, Batman," in this version, what Batman?
Yeah, he
What?
don't go. Him and Batman are not friends. Like
They're not friends in this movie
supposed to be
yet.
friends.
They barely had a relationship. I mean, just because oh, I don't want to get into that. Okay, I don't want to get into that. We'll talk about that later about Batman v Superman and everything. But so yeah, those are what we agree with. I agree with you. I think that JJ should stay the heck away from Superman.
Yes,
He'll just rehash Donner Superman, and it will alienate
Rob
more
Zombie.
people away.
Just give me an evil version of the Superman story. Just give me Rob Zombie instead. I'd rather
Yeah,
have that.
yeah.
Like, or
Or hell, no. I'm sorry, the one guy. Go get Christopher McQuarrie.
yes, I was gonna say or.
Yeah, go get Christopher McQuarrie. One, he could do a really great storyline. He did two versions of Mission Impossible that everyone loved.
Mm-hmm.
Three. I'm sorry, three. He wrote one
Mm-hmm.
and directed two of them.
Yep.
Everyone loved him. Okay, great. He's really good friends with Henry Cavill because of
Yep.
Fallout.
Because they did the last movie. Yep.
Yeah, and two, he's a huge Superman fan, and he respects what Zack Snyder was doing. So he understood what Zack Snyder was trying to do. He even stated, "The only way to really do Superman is how Zack did it." That's
Yep.
all you have to do, Superman. You can't do the same thing over again. Hell, we can all love and respect what Donner did. We can. We can respect and love what he did.
I
But
mean,
even
that's your
Donner says do something
childhood,
different.
but don't get stuck up on that. The cartoon was tougher than Donner's version. Don't do.
I
Just
know, but what I'm saying is that
watch
even
Justice League. No, I'm just talking about
oh, in general, I
fans.
know.
Yeah. Like they don't. Donner is a cool guy, but Lethal Weapon is his movies, man. Like
Right.
Superman was like, it kind of got his foot further into the door where he could pick whatever movie he wanted, and weapon,
From Warner
and he
Brothers,
did,
I know, right?
and he did four, and then because Warner Brothers did Superman people, so he
Hmm.
got a contract with them saying that you could pick whatever movie you want because he did the Supermans the way it made money back then. So they were like, all
Hmm.
right, and he's like Lethal Weapon, and they're like, okay, and then they're like, you want to make another one? Yeah. You want to make another one? Yeah. You want to make another one? Yeah. Where's my five? Where's my part five at?
Right.
Like, give me a fifth one. They're still alive. Let's do this.
Right. Both of them. So I'm
Yep.
like okay. So I have no problem with that. Christopher McQuarrie would be great. He could do the
Yeah.
action. His action is great. He'll direct it very, very well.
And he likes tense scenes.
Yeah, exactly. He likes intense scenes. So showing us a Superman trying to struggle to use his powers, or he's trying to do a monumental feat of his abilities, dude, you're gonna sit there and be like, oh my god,
You're gonna get tense. Yeah.
it's gonna get tensed. So I'm perfectly happy with that. Chris McQuarrie or Rob Zombie, we don't want pass.
Anybody but JJ.
Yeah, anybody but JJ.
Like,
Yeah, and there's no disrespect to JJ. I know it's not like I don't want him anywhere near a DC property. I just want him to do something that has no pretense, that has no past to it. It could be fresh, and he could do what he wants with it. And if it passes, great. If it flunks, then do something different. But don't put too much money into it because that'll just be a ruination of it. But we
yep.
have to see after episode 9. I think that episode 9 is going to be the plot point if he's going to touch anything on DC. That's my opinion about it. Episode 9 is such trash right now. There's so much crap going on that you have to bring in the original creator George Lucas to come in and look it over. What? That's not good. That's not good at all. So we have to see. We have to see. And bringing in Palpatine, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It erodes and uproots everything that Anakin went through in the first 7 movies, 6 movies.
Hmm.
You just erasing it. He got lied to by one guy, lost his family, became this dude's muppet for almost 20 years. He finally confronts his son, and now his son's about to die. And he's gonna sit there and go, okay, you know what? I'm done talking to you, and throws him down and shoot. And all of a sudden, hey, guess what? I'm still alive. You killed a clone. What?
Yeah.
If I was Anakin, I'll
Don't
come
do the
back to
clone
life,
thing,
dude.
man. Because let's not go into that. Let's save that for something else because that's gonna
Yeah,
be another rant too.
yeah. Oh my god, dude. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that. Like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit the bell. This is one of the other videos I will have out. There's a lot of other stuff I want to talk about. I'll put that on the list. Rant about freaking Star Wars. Rant about freaking Batman v Superman. Positive, and a whole bunch of other things. All right. I want to thank everybody for allowing us to talk about these three news stories that I've been hearing about. I'd like to thank Hawk for joining with me, talking what his opinions and his stature about these 3 stories. Is there anything else you want to say, my man?
Nah, but I hope everybody enjoys what we're, continue doing this, and I enjoy doing this. So see
All
you
right.
guys on the next one.
All right. You guys have a great one. Bye.